Hey everyone, it's Alex from Raddtitan, and I just want to say first of all, sad times, we are missing Geo Man, so you are stuck with me. And today I'm in Hong Kong and I'm visiting Budget Stark. So we're just going to ask him a few questions, just go through a few things of why he's collecting, why he does his channel and whatever else. So we'll go on to that straight away. So, hello.
Hello. It's good to meet you. It's good to actually finally meet because we've chatted a few times on Messenger, and we've watched each other's videos, etc. as well. So yeah, do you have some questions you wanted to ask me, or sure. Some collectors mentioned some things?
We met a while back because through Facebook we were messaging each other because I picked up I think it was Mark 42 die cast, or was it 43? I always get mixed up.
42, that one.
Okay, 42 die cast. A friend gave it to us to review, so I just had a few questions about, I think it was like problems with the batteries, so I messaged just to ask for some advice. And then Soap Studios power supply as well wouldn't power the base, so trying to ask advice for that, but yeah, came through in the end. So basically, how long have you been collecting, and what got you started?
I've been collecting about 5 years now, coming up to 5 years, and one of the things that I started with, which is a little bit ironic, I actually wanted to buy a toy for my son, because you know how kids break quite small toys, so I saw this 12-inch plastic figure in a toy shop. I said that would be really good for my boy, who's very young. So Austin went into the shop, asked him how much did this cost, and he said about £400. And I said I didn't want the whole set, I just wanted that one figure, and he said yes sir, that figure is about £400. So I'd never heard of Hot Toys before. Went home, did some research, and I found out they were pretty good. And watched some reviews online on YouTube, some videos on this Mark II Armour Unleashed. And eventually I bought it, not through that shop, but I went somewhere else and bought it, and I thought, this is amazing. Did some more research on Hot Toys and started collecting mainly the Iron Man line, and that's pretty much all I collect actually.
Yeah. And then that goes on to, how did you come up with the name?
That name was actually given to me by a fellow collector over in Europe. His name is Diffuse and L, and I'll call him Matt, because I will murder his first name. He actually has a channel, and I'll put a link in the description there at some point, because he is an amazing lighting setup for displays. Because there's lots of, you've seen collectors and they have det-offs and they have whatever designs there, but what I found really unusual, his lighting is perfect. Yeah. And that really shone his actual figures and statues there, because he has statues as well. And I messaged him, and we started chatting, and he started watching some of my videos on my channel. And back then, when I first started uploading videos, I didn't have much at all. What I liked to do was tinker and play about with certain things. One of the things I did was display bases, which I make them remote control via a mains outlet, so you don't have to use batteries. A bit like the soap reactor that you guys got. And because I like to play about with that, Matt said that it was like a Tony Stark but on a budget, because I haven't got his money. Sure. So that's where the name Budget Stark came about.
That's quite good, yes. I mean, I say it's quite ironic as well, as you say, because Tony Stark's obviously loaded, so then Budget Stark's pretty good. I was just going to say as well, because it is quite funny that collectors spend thousands or tens of thousands of pounds on their collection, and then they go to IKEA and buy Detolfs for £40, or buy the Bestas, or buy they buy those really cheap displays. Yeah. And I always find that really funny, but I'm guilty of that as well.
I have to say that even if the display cabinet is not amazing, or just a standard something you buy from from IKEA or a furniture store, that's fine. If you spend any money, spend it on the lighting. Yeah. The lighting is so fundamental for bringing out the hours of hard work from the painters and the sculptors, that the lighting will have a huge impact on how the actual display and your collection looks. Also, try not to cram so much in your collection, because generally if you put too much into that display cabinet, you lose the detail. You can't see the fine detail and the intricate paint apps.
On the other side, it can work if you do like a diorama setup of a team, or
I agree with that actually.
It can work in that way, but as you say with the lighting, I mean, just something, I've got cheap lighting, I've got IKEA lighting, and I bought 2 sets of lights at different times. I didn't realise that one was warm and one was white, and the difference when you look at them is actually really different. I mean, the warm set makes the paint look quite dull, and when you put the white on there, it makes it look a lot better. So I was really surprised with that, and that's such a subtle difference. Just
It does make a difference. I 100% agree. I actually prefer the brilliant whites. It's a cleaner feel about it, and it doesn't distort the actual paint app as you would see it. Because it's slightly yellowish, it can change actually the tinge and the paint app look. Another thing is where you place the light. If you imagine this is the front of your cabinet, if you place the lighting in the center or slightly behind the figure or slightly in front, the shadow that casts onto it will have a big impact also on how it looks. So be aware of where you place the actual lighting.
It's funny you say that, because I used to, on my besters, I had the light running down the middle, and it looked all right. But then recently I took them all out, cleaned my cabinets, swapped all my figures around, and I put them on the front. So I was lighting them from the front back, and I think that looks much better for me personally. And I was just really surprised again how that little difference can make such a big difference. As I say, what we're going to do today is we're going to walk around Hong Kong. Tony's going to show me around, he's going to show me the sites, he's going to show me Secret Base, he's going to show me the King Arts. I'm really looking forward to the King Arts one, because I watched your video on the Hulkbuster, and we've both reviewed, and I've got the Imaginary Mars Hulkbuster, and I'm impressed with it, I love it. But then seeing the King Arts one, I really want to see for a comparison for myself, really. So we're going to go around there, we're going to do that, and also we just picked up the Deadpool by Hot Toys. He's going to return to a collector who's just bought that. So I've just seen this for the first time, and we did a review on the Sideshow Collectibles one, and it's just, when you see the Hot Toy one in hand for myself, and I've seen the Sideshow one in hand, you can really see why Hot Toys are sort of head of the pack on this, in this line. I really like it. I mean, I don't know, you've seen a lot more than myself, but for me, it's spot on for what it's meant to be.
In terms of proportions and the app, articulation, by the way, is amazing. Phenomenal articulation. What would you say is the main difference between this and the Sideshow Deadpool?
Okay. The thing with the Sideshow one, I just think they went really, really overboard with the pouches and things. And I know you can take them off and whatever else, but I just think also the detail, and just, as I say, just for a pouch, for example, that looks a lot better than the Sideshow ones. And I just think the the look of the suit, I prefer this to the way Sideshow done it. I prefer that. I like the weathering.
I think this is more representative of the movie, whereas the Sideshow is more of the comic book style, right?
I think Sideshow went for a bit of a comic look, but then they tried to incorporate a little bit of the movie as well, I think.
Okay.
But no, personally, I think for myself, I prefer that one. I mean, I'm more of a movie collector as well. I mean, I've just started to buy more comic, and I'm really bad at collecting loads of lines, but I'd always go back to the movie side, really. But personally, for me, I quite like it. But yeah, but yeah, I haven't got as much Hot Toys experience to compare it to. So yeah, what we'll do then is we'll tie it up there. We'll show you the wander around of Hong Kong, and keep watching, guys. what we'll do is I'll add on Budget Stark's link on the bottom. Check out his channel and keep watching, guys. Thanks.